Greetings, St. Mark. I hope that all of you are doing well, that you're staying safe, that you are enjoying your time together, and that life is good for you. I know it's been a very difficult and strange time for all of us. It's been a time for evaluating life and what's really important and to look at our relationships. But it's also been something of a unique nature for all of us, and especially as I think about coming to the end of my ministry. It's very clear that we will not be able to gather collectively to have a time of saying goodbye, being able to reminisce and laugh and share stories. But I wanted to take some time just to be able to share with you from my heart the things that I think are really important, the things that I hope will be meaningful to you and to the church as we get ready to make this transition. The main thing that I wanted to focus on this morning is the fact that we've all experienced great loss. All of us have in many different ways. I think about just us as a church. We lost our time together during Holy Week and during Easter. It never occurred to me that I would not be able to be in the sanctuary preaching on Easter Sunday morning with a congregation full of people. That never dawned on me that that would even be a possibility. But yet it was a great loss for me personally, and I felt like for the church as a whole. And then we lost the opportunity for our confirmation class, which was going to be the next Sunday after Easter, to be able to celebrate with those confirmands and experience them as they made their profession of faith and took the vows of the church. For all of the people who have experienced loss in their health as a result of the virus itself, those who have been hospitalized, those who have lost loved ones as a result of the virus and were unable to be with them, just by virtue of the fact that the hospitals were closed to anyone and everyone outside of the patients and the staff themselves. And we think about the loss that all of the healthcare workers have experienced, the loss of being away from family, and the loss of even their own health as they cared for those who were sick. There's been so much loss in terms of our economy, in terms of people's businesses, their hopes and dreams and hard work and life savings evaporated as a result of this virus. So many people lost their jobs just because they were not able to work. The loss is just monumental. And sometimes we just get so wrapped up in just trying to survive that maybe we don't really focus in and pay attention to what the loss has done for us and to us. And so this morning, just as your pastor, I wanted to just share some thoughts with you that as we continue to go through this time together, and as we continue to work through and hopefully get to that place where we can find some normalcy again, that we do reflect upon the loss that we have experienced individually and corporately, and to have some thoughts and ideas about how to best deal with the loss. One of the first things I would share with you is what Paul says. Give thanks in all things. In every situation, every circumstance, that we give thanks. Not that we give thanks for the virus, because nobody is thankful for that, but rather that in the midst of it, that we can find the blessings of God. We can find the ways that God has touched us, that God has reached into our lives, has healed us, forgiven us, how he has reconciled us back to others that we have been estranged from. God has been at work in the midst of all of this, and so we want to just give thanks to him as we celebrate and give just be at peace with God, knowing that He is at work. And then we want to remember what Jesus has said to us, that my joy I give to you, and no one will take your joy from you. It's a choice that we get to make as far as being joyful. It's so easy for us to find the negative and to be at fault and to find all that's wrong with the situation, with life, with the circumstances that we experience. But what if we really focused on the joy? That God is loving us, that God is with us. He has not forsaken us. And so during this time of separation, I invite you and encourage you to just focus on the joy of the Lord, and that no one takes it from you. Now, God still gives us the freedom to give it up. That He doesn't force us to receive His joy and to keep it in our hearts. He does allow us the freedom to let something or someone steal the joy from us. But I encourage you to know that Jesus Christ has given you His joy, that even in the midst of His great suffering, that He gave you His joy. And then the last thing that I would share with you as we continue to go through this time together is that God has a plan. And this is what I, as an individual and as a pastor, need to keep in mind. One of the things that I really do need is to be able to have closure for my time of ministry with each of you, and 39 years of ministry as a United Methodist pastor, that I need to be able to bring that to a close. Having time with you in a celebratory way would have been wonderful, and it would have been very normal for us to do that. But that's not possible. And so now it is me recognizing God has a plan. I knew that God had a plan for me when He led me to make the decision to retire. I know that God is leading me in a new direction, but I just didn't know that it would end up like this. And so I want to just encourage you that if your plans are not what you thought they would be, if you're not where you thought you would be or doing what you thought you would be doing at this point in time, to know that God does still have a plan for you. Remember Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. God is still with us. He's still giving us an incredible future ahead of us. We still don't know what the ultimate outcome of the coronavirus will be. We don't know when it will actually come to an end, and life as we once knew it hopefully resumes in some way. But the fact is, God is at work. And so even though our plans may change, even though things may not be the way that we want them to be, that God is still with us. So over the next few weeks, I just want to share with you some thoughts as I close out my ministry with you. I felt like this would be the best way to be able to communicate with you and to let you know really what's in my heart as I get ready to close this chapter of my life and to begin the new thing that God has for me. I pray God's special blessings upon you as you continue to stay strong, as you continue to seek Him out in all things, give thanks in all things, and keep the joy of the Lord in your heart. God bless you.